As a young child, I looked forward to field trips due to being a nice deviation from the quietness of the classroom. We were told that we were going to go on a nature walk, which excited me as I loved anything to do with the outdoors. I was 8 years old and I could hardly contain myself when I saw that the bus was pulling into the parkland. When the second bus arrived, we were split into groups of 10 and we were told that we'd all meet up in the barbecue area. My parents were open-minded into getting psychic readings by phone, using Ouija boards and the like, but for some reason they had shielded me from hearing ghost stories, so I only had a childish idea about spirits and anything spooky. I had always wanted to go on a haunted walk, like the ghost tours in Savannah my friends had told me about. But like I said, my parents wouldn't allow anything like that. Anyway, it was the beginning of fall and the trails had a nice damp carpet of leaves and some trees were covered in moss. We followed the teacher and only half listened to her talking about the seasons and the history of the area. Being a loner, I tended to hang back, but the teacher didn't notice that she was too busy pointing and talking. I noticed a thick mist settling in the forest and I became distracted by the sound of faraway giggling and singing. Then I saw many white apparitions zipping through the trees as the childish singing and laughter grew louder. I froze when I saw a girl in Victorian clothing run across the path. At the time, I didn't know about the Victorian era, but I could tell that her white dress and hairdo were old-fashioned. She then ran out from behind another tree and stopped in front of me as more children spilled out of the forest. They were all Victorian school children with a ghostly glow around them, making them appear to be part of the mist. The girl then said in a high-pitched voice, "Hello, would you like to play?" I didn't wait to say yes as I didn't fear them. Forgetting the field trip and my classmates, I happily took the girl's chilly hand and raced into the woods with her. I had no idea that I was playing hide and seek with ghosts as they all seemed so real to me, and so much fun. Soon they brought me into a hidden cave that had an entrance covered with branches and ivy. I was suddenly afraid. The girl took my hands in hers and said, "We need another girl in our family." I looked at her sweet face and smiled. She told me that her name was Jane, and that all the children were from many different ages, forming a happy family. I looked into her pale blue eyes and felt so drawn to her that I had to go. Then they led me through the entrance. The cave was dark and damp, but soon illuminated by the glow of hundreds of ghostly children from many eras. The majority of them were from the Victorian era, but I saw girls and boys from all decades since the 1900s, smiling at me. A bigger boy who seemed to be from the 1950s beckoned to me and motioned for me to stand on a large rock. I asked why, and he said, almost malevolently, "To be initiated." That's when the fear began to creep into my heart. I started to walk over the rock, but I saw a little boy hiding behind it, shaking his head in a panic with wide eyes. Jin and the other children started chanting, "Yes! Yes! Yes!" But my fear became overwhelming, so I stopped. The big boy screamed, "Get her!" And suddenly the children's eyes switched to a gaulish green as they pounced. I was able to duck and weave. Then I clambered my way out of their grasp and raced to get out of the cave. Jane shrieked in an unholy voice, "Come back! You promised!" But I kept going until I made it into the forest. I then heard my teacher calling my name, and I was soon breaking through a clearing and falling into my group. When I turned around, I could see the ghostly children's face glaring angrily at me through the trees. But I was safe.